is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from downtown St. Louis, it's game number 3, the Colorado Rockies and the St. Louis Cardinals. So what's on tap is presented by Budweiser, and it's a good matchup. A hard thrower, Jon Gray for Colorado. And on the other side, a hard thrower with a great changeup, 2-4, Michael Wacha of the St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Hayes is here. That's Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us as we get you set for game number 3 here tonight from Busch Stadium. Michael Wacha, record doesn't indicate how well he's pitched. He is 2-4. On the other side, Jon Gray is a high pick and really thought of highly around Major League Baseball.
Both high-profile first-round draft choices. Wacha has pitched okay of late. Gray's been terrific. His last 4 outings, he's been outstanding. He piles up the strikeouts. He has the high-octane, high 90s fastball. If the Cardinals don't strike out, they win. That'll be a key here tonight.
That means that they also need to get Matt Holliday going again. He was outstanding in game 2. There's a carryover here to game 3. It's Arcia in the driver's seat and what he's done against his former team. The Cardinals and the Rockies coming up. Rocket Arms. And here is the average velocity on the fastball with the Cardinals starting rotation. We know about Carlos Martinez, hit 101 over the weekend at Dodger Stadium. Well, tonight's starter, Michael Wacha, averaging 93 miles per hour. Quicken Loans, Rocket Arms. Tonight, it's Michael Wacha looking for win number 3 against John Gray, who's 1-1 for the Colorado Rockies. It's the rubber game. It's St. Louis, it's Colorado, and it comes your way next. Of 3.23, and he gets the call tonight. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Rick Horton, Jim Hayes, Dan McLaughlin with you from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Early start tonight, and much warmer weather than we had 2 nights ago. It was downright cold here at the ballpark. It'll be Charlie Blackmon, then Trevor Story, and Carlos Gonzalez here in the first. Nolan Arenado, Gerardo Parra, Mark Reynolds, Daniel Descalso. Just 1 at bat this year, but dealing with a hand injury. Tony Walters, the catcher, and John Gray, the pitcher, 1 for 10 this year.
Michael Wacha making start number 9 for the Cardinals. He's lost 4 straight games, but Dan, as we talked about in the open, he's pitched better than that. He's been victimized by some defensive issues behind him, and he's kind of given up that one big hit on a ball up in the zone. Curveball for him is an important pitch. He's been a little erratic with that, but when it's on, he gets up into that elite status in terms of National League pitcher. And by the way, this lineup for Colorado, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure I can think of a 1, 2, 3, 4 better in the National League than these guys.
They're amongst the better ones that we've seen, for sure. Here's Charlie Blackmon. He's hitting .296, and the first pitch is a strike, and we're underway.
You sounded like Tony La Russa there. Tied for first.
Tied for first. Very diplomatic. Blackmon lines it foul. There's that changeup, and it tails away and swung on, and a foul ball by Blackmon. What do you watch for with Michael Wacha when you think he might have a good night?
Well, I think the curveball is key. And changeup has improved this year in my mind from a year ago. He's throwing more downhill. Now that pitch, nobody's going to hit.
Or catch.
That's the classic waste pitch. You normally want the waste pitch just off the plate to change the batter's eye. I think that's so far out of the zone you just ignore it.
Elevated again and gets the strikeout of Blackmon. In steps Trevor Story, the shortstop with 11 home runs, 10 of those coming in the first month. And he's driven in 28 this year. We were doing the game in which Michael Wacha was 1 out away from a no-hitter here at Busch Stadium 3 a few years ago against Washington. That really set the stage for his amazing run in the 2013 Division Series and League Championship Series. And remember, at that time, going into that start, the Cardinals were unsure as to whether or not Michael Wacha would even be on the postseason roster.
Right.
Ryan Zimmerman broke up that no-hitter, and there's the curveball swung on and missed. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. At that point in time, not to say he was only a 2-pitch pitcher, he would mix in the curveball here or there, but primarily it was fastball, changeup, and that curveball has become a weapon now for him.
Yeah, the changeup, when it's right, is a pitch that goes off his fastball and is hard to pick up. The curveball, they may see it coming, so location is a little more important for that delivery. '96. He looks strong today. He has 1 extra day rest. I think that could be important, as did Wainwright yesterday, because of the off day on Monday.
2-2. Nice start here from Michael Wacha. He has struck out the first 2 he's seen. Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's Cardinals defense tonight. Holiday in left, Grichuk in center, Piscotty is in right. Carpenter, Diaz, Wong, and Adams on the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. That's presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Here's Carlos Gonzalez. With the Rockies off to a start of 20-19, and everybody is crowded in the National League West, no talk yet of trading Carlos Gonzalez, but at some point you'll hear it, because it happens every year.
It's almost like when it's trade time, winter, or the trade deadline, and all around baseball, it's like, okay, it's time to talk about Carlos Gonzalez again. I heard a lot of conversation about all of the Rockies outfielders during the winter. They ended up trading Dickerson to Tampa Bay, and they got their closer, Jake McGee, in that deal. So that was a good deal for them. But Blackmon's name came up, as did the name Carlos Gonzalez.
There's Gerardo Parra. He's in left field tonight, signed as a free agent. The 1-2 hit out of play. You better have wheels in that outfield in the National League West, and especially in Colorado.
Exactly.
AT&T Park, Dodger Stadium, big ballparks. Two balls and 2 strikes. Pitch number 16. Hit out of play. But the point being, Rick, you've got to have guys that can really run and go get it. Athletic outfielders.
Big parks, ball carries. That could be a game changer. A lot of triples in ballparks like that if your outfielders aren't quick.
3-2 the count with 2 outs, nobody on. That's hit the other way. Holiday is there. Makes the catch, and a 1-2-3 top of the first from Michael Wacha. No score from Busch Stadium. at second tonight, and he will move up in this lineup. And always at the top, it's that man right there, Matt Carpenter. So Carpenter, Diaz, and Holiday, followed by Piscotty, Adams, Molina, Grichuk, Wong, and the pitcher Michael Wacha. A lot of talk about where Diaz hits in this lineup, but all told, the lineup has been producing at a great clip.
A lot of good pieces in this Cardinals lineup, and there has been some consternation about the batting order that Mike Matheny picks, and he does change it. He changes positions and the order, but I think that's just par for the course based on matchups, and it really has worked. So it hasn't been a problem. Cardinals scoring a lot of runs this year.
And the first pitch is a strike to Carpenter. John Gray, a record of 1-1, and this young man is a hard thrower. The shift is on for Carpenter.
Breaking pitch is one of his best pitches too. We just saw it there. That was a bigger curveball. He has a slider and a curveball, changeup, and the 95+ fastball. He has hit 102 in his career. That's his max.
Here's a 1-1. Matt batting .246, 8 home runs, driven in 26. Hits that the other way, slicing down the left field line, and foul. Not by much.
Does it surprise you a bit that Matt is hitting just .246?
Absolutely.
All right, so the reality is his .246 is not like everybody else's .246 because of the walks. His on-base percentage is high, and his power potential is high. So even when he's got a .250 average, his contributions are important to this team, and so I think he gets under the radar at times because of that.
Especially the walks, because you see him on base a lot. The 2-2. And he's also scoring a lot of runs as well. So it all adds up to a high OPS, on base percentage plus slugging. Diaz, then Carpenter, Kubota power stats, then Piscotty, Molina, and Holiday. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Carpenter. Drives it into left center field. Charlie Blackmon, though, positioned perfectly for the out. Parra, Blackmon, Gonzalez in the outfield. Around the horn, brought to you by Dobbs, Arenado, Story, Descalso, and Reynolds on the infield, and Walters is behind the plate.
There's Gold at third, left, and right.
Fun watching that guy at third, isn't there? I mean, he is some kind of player.
He had a nice game here yesterday with the glove.
This has been one of the hottest topics here in St. Louis. Aledmys Diaz and where you hit him in the lineup. Ouch.
I think that one's going to take a while. I think they got him pretty squarely on the foot, and that can be painful. That's the kind of, when players talk about the nagging injuries, you know, you hear that word all the time. You wonder, what are they talking about? Well, it's things like this that go unnoticed when the game's, he's not going to be on the disabled list, but he's going to have a bruise. He's going to be limping a bit, and it's going to bother him playing shortstop for, what would you say, 4 or 5 days?
At least.
So just the reality of playing at this level, and it doesn't mean you can't play, you just may have to work around it.
Matt Holliday, who's on deck, told me there's a bruise on his left leg that is enormous. He said it's the size of a softball right now from a ball that he took at first base, and he said it's just one of those things you deal with. Exactly what you're talking about, the nagging injuries. On the inside corner,
Wow, was that a nasty slider.
This guy's awfully good, from Eastern Oklahoma State. He played JUCO college baseball there, and then the University of Oklahoma. And that one hit Diaz.
So a painful at bat, but a productive one. He hits himself, then Gray hits him. Add that to your list of nagging injuries.
Yeah. I wish fans could have seen Matt Holliday today. And what we saw with him in our speaker series. We put it on sale online. It sold out in under 24 hours. I was just talking to John Mozeliak, the Cardinals GM, about it, and he brought it up. He said, I've been around him at certain situations and functions when he's relaxed and opens up. He said he's just tremendous, and he was today. A lot of fun.
Well, it's the Matt Holliday that his teammates see, and I think people that are close to him see, but he's always very, I would say, terse with his answers publicly when he's interviewed, and I think that gives people sometimes the wrong impression of him. A sense of humor, how much he loves this game.
Rick, we had people today from Oklahoma. A family drove in from Ohio, and the one that I couldn't believe that was there, starting a 4-day trip. 3 guys that love to take in special events. They are huge baseball fans from, of all places, Australia.
That's a long drive.
And they came here to see Matt Holliday. Drive, flight, train, boat ride. 1-1. Breaks his bat. Little flare out to shallow right. That'll drop in. It's a base hit.
Looked like that may have stung Matt a little bit. Diaz has to read whether or not that ball's going to carry to right. You're right in the middle. You've got to make that decision at some point because you have to make the commitment. That ball drops. Cardinals have something going. Interesting to see Stephen Piscotty in the cleanup spot too. The Diaz move to find a potential home for him moves Piscotty into the cleanup spot. I like that as well. He has been very good with runners in scoring position, and he's been consistent as any Cardinal hitter.
The word you use, consistent, is how Mike Matheny has described Stephen Piscotty. So whether he hits second, third, fourth, or fifth, pretty much the same approach you're going to get. So they feel very comfortable with him in this spot. Look at those numbers. 475 with runners in scoring position this year.
Only John Jay has a better average with runners in scoring position in the National League than Piscotty, interestingly enough. Piscotty at 348 in the month of May. A lot of multi-hit games too for Steven.
Here's a 1-0 pitch.
My mind, Dan, when you think lineup construction, it's not so much that the guy's going to be a better or worse hitter, whether he's hitting second or eighth or seventh or fourth or ninth. It's how does it all come together? Do you have the gap hitter after the on base percentage guy, before the guy can run, or after the guy that can? I mean, what tools flow together better? Not that the hitter's going to be doing anything different if he's in a different spot.
The 2-0 high fly ball. Left center field. This ball will get down. Ground rule double. Piscotty drives in the first run of the night. That's Diaz, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. And it's RBI number 24 for the cleanup hitter tonight, Stephen Piscotty.
Well, you can add this to his resume of hitting with runners in scoring position. That's the slider. We mentioned he has a good one, but Piscotty was right on that. Down in the zone, did not have the sharp break that the earlier one did. There's the spin. Pitchers will talk about the dot. The dot was a little big, which meant it didn't break as sharp. A lot of times when you get that small little dot on the ball, it's a sharper pitch. And this ballpark, Dan, is playing like it's 800 feet.
Pitcher's Park right now.
I thought that was gone off the bat.
I did too. So here is Adams. He's batting in the number 5 spot. 260 his average. It's a line out by Carpenter. Diaz was hit by a pitch. Holiday, the bloop single to right, and the ground rule double off the bat of Piscotty. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Adams. Hit the other way. That's a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes Piscotty. Throw by Parra will go into second base, and Matt Adams drives in 2. And it's 3-0 Cardinals.
Well, Matt Adams has been messing up algorithms in baseball all year long by going the other way. Continue to have the shift on Adams, and many hits the other way for Matt, including this one. That would have been right at the shortstop. I'm pro shift. Not saying that. I think it's a smart thing to do at the right time, but they're going to have to redo those formulas for Matt Adams because he is taking advantage of that left side of the infield.
And here is Yadier Molina, sitting .321. No home runs. He's driven in 16. 1 hit in this series.
Can't you just see, Dan, laptops all across baseball kind of smoking right now and getting locked up? And
well, guys are pulling out their hair right now.
They are.
They can't figure it out. Chopped left side, and Arenado fields that in foul territory. Well, we've talked about it in this series as Piscotty has driven in a run tonight, and now Adams with 2. Going back to what you were saying with Matt Adams, and I'm in complete agreement with him showing bunts now and his ability to really go the other way with consistent success. Teams are going to have to play him more straight up.
And I think situationally, and I don't want to tell other teams how to play Matt Adams, but if there's two outs, nobody on, go ahead and shift. You got a couple runners in scoring position. Do you really want to give up that big of a hole for him to make the adjustment? And that's what he's doing. Yes, he used to hit him there, but now that you're there, he's going to hit him where you're not.
0-2 pitch. Instead, a check on Adams and back in safely. You may recall back in 2013, you get a look here at Adams getting back in, barely. Mark Appel was the #1 overall pick by Houston. Then it was Chris Bryant of Chicago. John Gray went 3rd to the Rockies, and the Rockies thought he was going to be the #1 overall pick because of issues with Appel and signability. Could be a double play ball. Story to Descalso, and they turn the double play. 6-4-3. Big inning for the Cardinals and a 3-run lead.
A 3-run bottom of the first inning. Leading the Rockies here, Blaze Ilsley is the Cardinals bullpen coach. He's been doing a great job, and that's our key to the game today, Dan. The Cardinals need to just get it to their bullpen. The bullpen has been lights out. It's been a strength of this team. And it's been more than just the closer Rosenthal. The left-handers are doing a nice job. And I really credit Seung-Hwan Oh for making that an even higher level positive for this Cardinal organization. He has been terrific in the bullpen. Could be a closer, but the Cardinals have had 7, 8, 9th innings on lockdown.
This is Nolan Arenado. Seung-Hwan Oh, I thought it was great to see Siegrist use that curveball back-to-back last night, which surprised a lot of people, including his manager.
Well, as it was happening, I said, well, he's not going to throw that again. And a half a second later, Yadi put down the 2, and I said, well, I guess he is.
And he did with success. On a hop to Colton Wong. There's Seth Maness on the left. Tyler Lyons, Dean Kieckeffer. And Maness dealing with the sore elbow and on the disabled list. Hyundai pitch arsenal for tonight's starter Michael Wacha.
Fastball and cutters. You see those a high percentage of the time. The curveball we've talked about. The changeup at 12% can be an out pitch for him. The curveball, to back up, we were talking about, Dan, earlier, he has had a higher line drive percentage against his curveball this year by far than he did last year, and less strikeouts with it. So it's been, again, less consistent. Not that it's not good at times, but what we've seen so far is fastball. Looks like a plus pitch for him tonight.
Here's Parra. Parra hitting .295, struck out multiple times here in game number 2. Did not start in the first game of this series. One out and nobody on, and the 1-2 pitch from Michael Wacha. Good fastball. Michael Wacha every single day has to go through extra exercises for his shoulder to keep that strong. Cardinals found that odd injury that he had and has to strengthen up a lot of the tendons and muscles around the shoulder area. Here's a 1-2, the changeup in the dirt. But they have been going a little deeper in games with him. Did have one start in which he had 116 pitches this year. There's no chance you were going to see that a year ago.
Again, I point to the extra day rest that he has because of the off day Monday. Mike Matheny was saying the other day he prefers to look for those opportunities for his starters when he can get it.
So here's an odd question for a guy that used to be a starter, reliever, closer. You did all of it. You used to coach with professional pitchers. Why is it such a big deal that they have to stay on a schedule of every 5th day? We say it all the time, but what is it about being on that schedule that makes it so important for a pitcher?
Well, I think for starters that have never been relievers, it's more important.
Little chopper, Diaz, tough play. Look at that. Oh, nice play at Aledmys Diaz.
I want to answer your question, but I want to look at that play one more time. That was outstanding by Diaz. He gets it on the short hop, and it's do or die right there. And it's due. Very good hands. He gives a little bit. Good footwork all the way around. Nice play. So your question about starters, if you've never been a reliever, relievers are less creatures of habits than starters are. Relievers know that you might pitch 4 days in a row, you might not pitch for a week.
So you mentally get ready for that. But also what you need to do, you will do for just 10 pitches or 15. So it's not as important that you have a routine. For a starter, you're trying to be as strong as possible and built up for that 5th day. And you don't want to be behind or ahead of schedule. And that's why that habit comes to play. When you throw on the side, when you lift, when you rest, all those things are part of your recovery from throwing 100 pitches.
Here's a 1-1. Up the middle, backing up, Kolten Wong. It's off the bat of Reynolds and safe. And the Cardinals will take a look at this one.
Mike Matheny checking with David Bell. Checking to see whether or not there's a possibility that he is out. Here's the throw. Very close.
Initially, I thought he was out.
Well, my first thought was that Kolten Wong took his time too much on the ground ball. He's been fielding very well of late, but I'm not sure he was in enough of a hurry. And you know, that's a little contrary to what we're all trying to get Kolten to do, not be in a hurry. But on that play, like the Diaz play before it, it's do or die. Reynolds runs pretty well for a big man. Think he trusted his arm too much there, Dan?
Maybe so. And also maybe thinking about his former teammate.
Well, the Cardinals think he's out as they're leaving the field before Mission Control has given their verdict.
You can't do that, Rick. You
Not allowed
can't
to.
leave the field before the official call is made.
Why not?
Because I said so.
Well, they say so too, but what's the penalty?
Well, even Reynolds thinks he's out. Look at him. Yep, let's just move on. He's out. All right. Let's move on. I'll tell you what, Horton. You broke that down beautifully.
Thank you. My pleasure. Cardinals 7, 8, 9 due up for St. Louis. That'll mean Grichuk, Wong, and Wacha to face John Gray. Cardinals got to him in that first inning.
Picked up 3 runs, and the first pitch, a fastball and a strike. More and more you are seeing young pitchers with this real simple delivery.
Yes.
You notice that too?
Yep, no doubt about it. There's not a lot of reason to do things over your head and a big step back, and all that really is just a trigger to get you going, because every pitcher gets to the same spot. on every delivery anyway. And one of the things that was an issue for Gray early in his career was that he would drift towards home plate. And a lot of that early movement sometimes creates too much momentum towards the plate. So he's trying to stay back over the rubber, then explode. And when your body drifts towards the plate, your arm drags, you lose velocity and command. They've also moved him on the rubber. He was originally on the first base side, moved to the third base side. Now they have him in the middle. Simplifying.
And it's a leadoff walk. Rick, let's go back to Matt Adams. What are you seeing here?
Well, we're seeing a dirty uniform for Matt Adams because of his nimble footwork. We talked about the footwork of Aledmys Diaz, the shortstop, but look at the footwork here. He straddles the base, then he's got to come back the other way, keep his foot on the bag. Matt Adams does not get enough credit for his athleticism with his hands and with his feet at first base.
Here's Colton Wong. Pitcher Michael Wacha on deck. And Wong hits it out of play. Wong is riding a 6-game hitting streak coming into play tonight. 3 for 5 in this series. Very nice interview with Jimmy the Cat Hayes on the pregame show. And time is called. So now you go from the little windup that he has to working from the stretch, and they talked about at times too that working from the stretch he would rush it to the plate. See a lot of pitches tail away from the lefties or in on a righty.
And that's really the same mechanical reality when a player's body gets out in front of his arm, and sometimes you do it because of your windup is too complicated. Another thing that could cause that is trying to be too quick to the plate to stop the steal. And there are reasons certainly to do that. You want to be quick to the plate, but if you're too quick, you're going to miss high into the arm side, high and away to a left hand.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Little bit high. We're starting to see Colton Wong show signs of really busting out of what has been a slow start for him. Average is now up to 250. Had the game in Dodger Stadium over the weekend in which he had a couple of triples.
Raised at about 40 points in the last 10 days.
Yep. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Or will he throw over?
We're
Ridgick
talking
with 3 stolen bases this year.
We're talking a lot about pitching mechanics here in the first couple of innings, but you're going to be chatting soon with a guy who knows more about pitching mechanics than anybody I know.
Scott Terry.
You might get into some of that with him while he's on. Terrific teacher of mechanics of baseball.
Runner goes, and it's popped up. Walters runs out of room.
One thing I've noticed with the Cardinals, Dan, lately is cutting down on the strikeouts, and this guy is clearly a strikeout pitcher. The 2-strike approach has been a little bit more just, hey, let's see if I can put the ball in play.
Came in with 36. Now 37.
I led right into that, didn't I?
Yes, sir. So what does John Gray feature? Let's take a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal.
61% fastballs, and when you throw high 90s, why not? The slider, which many believe that's actually his best pitch, and we've seen some good sliders from him so far. Curveball has been a new pitch for him, and a changeup as well.
Michael Wacha looking for that first base hit. 0 for 16 on the year. Does have 1 sacrifice. Bunts it in the air. There's the second out.
Talked about the strikeouts of Jon Gray. Most strikeouts per 9 innings among National League starters. Some big names on this list. Vince Velasquez, who we missed with the Phillies, one of the great young pitchers in the game right now, but Kershaw, Scherzer, and Fernandez, we all know those names, and he is on that list. Last 3 games for Gray, 20 innings pitched, 24 strikeouts. He's only allowed 4 runs.
Here is Carpenter. Slices one the other way. We talked about some of the little things the Cardinals have to do to be a team that'll be in contention. Defense needs to improve. You talked about the strikeouts cutting down. Wainwright and Leake have looked better, but also they have to win at home.
Yeah.
They have not played to the level that we've seen in years past here at Busch Stadium. No balls, 2 strikes. That one caught Walters, the catcher. Cardinals here in St. Louis. Usually you can count on a team that's 15, sometimes 20 games above 500 here at home. St. Louis starts a game below the 500 mark at 10 and 11.
I think starting pitching takes care of that. I think if you can get starting pitchers to get on a roll consistently, well, that's really what set the team apart a year ago. And I know last year's done. We can stop talking about it. But the point is they were at historic levels in terms of their starting pitching a year ago. Wainwright, a big part of that. Lance Lynn, certainly miss him. Lackey was really good. Garcia was great. I mean, it was night after night, and that's how you pile up a whole bunch of wins in a row, whether you're at home or on the road.
Here's an 0-2 pitch to Carpenter. Carpenter, an odd swing, hits it down the right field line, and it's off the wall. Here comes Grichuk. Throw to the plate, not in time. A little check swing that carries all the way to the wall, and it's 4-0 Cardinals.
How about that for a 2-strike approach? There's the runner, Grichuk at first. 2 outs, he's going to score. Just barely, but here's the swing. It's a breaking ball down. Didn't even finish the swing.
Wow.
It's like he's playing Pepper, and he hit it off the wall.
He has that swing a lot, but I've never seen the ball carry like that with that swing. The 9th double for Carpenter. He's driven in 27. Diaz breaks his bat, slowly hit to the right side as Reynolds gets back to the bag.
Hustling again, Diaz.
Gets down the line pretty well. Our friend Scott Terry will be with us when we come back.
Actually, the lessons are slowing down, but that's normal.
Starting to play.
Yeah.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Scott Terry just reminded me I should know every bit of information that's on this piece of paper because, Dan, it's only been 16 years we've been doing this.
Isn't that great?
16 years.
Can you imagine that? We started with 10 clinics, and now we're up to 14.
That's great. By the way, great to see you.
Oh, thank you. You too, Dan. It's always a pleasure to come in here and visit with you guys.
And a nice round of applause right now for Daniel Descalso. And it seems like the Cardinal fans, they never miss a moment, do they?
Yeah, they take care of the players, don't they?
Yep.
I mean, they even remember me, which is hard to imagine. Really hard to
Stop. Stop.
No, I tell you what, they really acknowledge the effort that you give.
Part of that 2011 World Championship team. So these instructional clinics are for kids ages 7 through 13. By the way, you better sign up now. Go to the Cardinals website, cardinals.com/clinics. These fill up very, very quickly.
They do. As a matter of fact, we've already got one sold out. So unfortunately for you folks down in Cape Girardeau, if you haven't signed up, it's too late.
Too late, huh?
We've already got 150 kids.
How did they know already?
I don't know. Isn't that great?
You must have been doing radio or something down there.
Academy Sports is our sponsor of the clinics, and they have a store down there. That's the closest one to us here in St. Louis. So pretty good chance, I bet you, that they promote it. We were down there last year for the first time and sold it out. So they really love Cardinal baseball. And, you know, when you get outside of the metro area, you get to all the places like they go to, you know, over the winter with the caravans. You get about 90 miles outside of town. You could probably sell every one of them out if you wanted to.
I bet you could. Descalso on a 2-2 pitch. Singles to left, his first hit of the year. And Scott Terry's with us, the former Cardinal pitcher. For people that don't know, what position did you play before you were pitching?
I was an outfielder.
But you had
I was actually the third catcher, too.
Third catcher, too?
Yeah.
Now, the outfield in Cincinnati, you were with the Reds at one point. Then you came over to St. Louis. That outfield featured what players?
Well, in Cedar Rapids in 1982, Paul O'Neill played left field. I played right field, and Eric Davis played center.
That's a tough lineup to crack.
And Cal Daniels was 1 year behind us.
Oh, no. So that's why you went to pitching.
That's why I caddied for those guys.
There's a foul ball by Tony Walters, the catcher, who's had a tough night with a foul tip, and now this ball. As Yanni's going to help him up. He knows that feeling.
Oh, yeah. That's never fun. You know, in that whole club, that Cincinnati club, if you'll recall, all those guys that they came up with, Barry Larkin, Chris Sabo, Joe Oliver, Norm Charlton, Rob Dibble, Rob Murphy. That's the club that won the 1990 World Series.
And they went from start to finish #1.
Yes. So we had a lot of talent through the minor league system there in Cincinnati, and I was a rookie in '86. Kurt Stillwell, Rob Murphy, Cal Daniels, Paul O'Neill were the other rookies. We had 5 of us came up in 1 year.
Wow.
And, of course, they won second place 3 years in a row, and then Lou Piniella went over there and took them to a World Series.
Wire to wire 1990, and they defeated Tony La Russa's Oakland A's that season.
A lot of good players.
No balls, 2 strikes on Tony Walters, who's had, as I mentioned, a tough night. Now he wears protective gear in that front leg. You know he's got the gear when he's catching defensively. Sometimes that gear just isn't enough, Scott Terry.
No. Anytime you get hit anywhere on that body, whether you're a hitter, whether you're a catcher, whether you're a pitcher, whoever it is.
Ouch.
You know, and there's a gap in those pads, and it can't complete. Well, you would know that, Dan. You caught. But yeah, that's not much fun. It makes for a long night, but
yeah, you guys abused me down at fantasy camp.
Well, you know, you signed up for that.
I did sign up for
that. And we were more than happy to oblige. So don't feel like you were all alone, though.
No, I trust me, I know.
We spare no one at fantasy camp.
That's rolling foul. Yeah, I really appreciate you and Rick and the rest of the gang. The fact I could not walk for 3 weeks after the camp. That made it a little difficult.
Well, you know, it gives you lasting memories. We don't want you to forget us too soon. So if we do our job, you'll remember us for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was 3 painful weeks, and I remembered you quite well. We should tell folks, too, you're a big part of the fantasy camp. We've got one coming up this summer that's sold out. We've got another one coming up in the winter during the off season, and that will go on sale officially here in the next couple of weeks, but always check the Cardinals website for that.
Yeah, and all of our instructors, by the way, for our kids clinics will be listed on those on the stlouiscardinals.com also.
No,
so
Danny
if you're
Cox.
wanting to go, if you're wanting to go to a certain clinic because a certain instructor is there, well, check that out because we've got 5 instructors at every one. I'm the 6th guy, but I don't actually instruct at a station. But yeah, Danny Cox, Stan Royer, Kyle McClellan, Tom Lawless, John Costello, Mike Perez.
Really?
Mike Perez is back in town. Kerry Robinson, Cliff Polite, Kurt Ford, my old first base coach, Rich Hacker.
Is that right?
Yeah, and Kenny Reitz, Lonnie Macklin, Neil Fiala. That's our lineup. A lot of knowledge.
Some new names on that list, too.
A little bit, yes. Tommy Lawless back in town. It's hard to believe he doesn't have a job in baseball.
See that Gray was trying to sacrifice in this particular spot, and Yadier Molina sets up about a foot outside, if not a foot and a half. That's bunted foul and the strikeout for Michael Wacha. So it's back to the top of the lineup and Charlie Blackmon. A kid arrives at what time, and how does it all unfold?
We get started at 8 o'clock with an introduction, and then we actually start the rotations at 8:30. We have 5 rotations. We do base running, hitting, throwing, ground balls, and fly balls. We take a break in there a little bit, do a little question and answer, and then at the end we sign autographs for them. We also have some giveaways. So it's a nice jam-packed morning for the kids. 25-minute at each station, so they get a lot of repetition of whatever it is we're doing at each station. And of course, we want it to be a whole lot of fun for the kids as well as informative.
Fairview Heights, Belleville, Afton, Missouri, St. Peter's, in Arnold, Manchester, Highland, Illinois, Chesterfield Valley, the athletic complex out there. So you will be busy.
Yes, nice facilities. We have 2 every week in June, starting the 2nd week of June. So we'll go a Wednesday and a Friday the first time, 8th and 10th. And then after that, the next 3 weeks, it'll be Tuesday, Thursday. So there'll be 8 total in June. We'll take the week of 4th of July off so I can take my motorcycle trek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because once a year that week I get out on my Harley and take a week off.
You know, we're getting a little older. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to ask you, how's your patience at these camps?
Never better.
Oh, come on.
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
You're getting mellow?
Well, I wouldn't go right straight to mellow, but I have kind of adopted a new motto.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's really hip and it's more modern.
And what is that motto?
Whatever, dude.
So a kid gets, you get mad at a kid, you just say whatever, dude.
Whatever, dude.
And it seems to work.
Yeah. Yeah. When are we going to play a game? Whatever, dude. And they really understand that response. I mean, they go, oh, okay.
I love it.
Well, their favorite answer is I don't know.
There's a base hit into right field off the bat of Charlie Blackmon. And stopping at second base, Descalso. So runners at first and second. And it brings in Trevor Story. Whatever, dude.
You like that, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
We'll start using that with my kids.
Well, remember, Dan, I do private instruction, and I've been doing that for 16 years.
Oh, yeah.
So when you've got kids anywhere from 8 to 20 standing in front of you for 20 minutes over and over, about 5 hours a night, you learn patience.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, because you're teaching them and you're teaching them, and they've been coming to you for like 2 years, and they still don't remember. And you just look at them and you go, oh, yeah, you slept last night, didn't you? Yeah, you've slept since I've seen you last.
I sent my kids out to a clinic, and they loved it.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it really is. It seems to me that the kids really have a lot of fun at it, and that's what we try to do. We try to keep it upbeat. We try to keep it quick-paced. That comes from my days with Whitey.
Sure.
We don't want to get out there and waste anybody's time. We want the parents to be assured that their kids are going to get exactly what they're paying for, which is a lot of opportunities to play baseball, to learn a lot, and to have fun while they're doing it. So it's a great atmosphere. It's something I've enjoyed doing. It's something Ricky used to do with us. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the time available to do anymore.
That's drilled into left center field, and that ball will get down. 1 run will score. Here comes another. And Trevor Story's cut the lead to 4-2.
It's not hard to understand why that kid's having some success.
Ball jumps off his bat.
Well, and did you see how well he kept his hands inside of that pitch to keep it fair?
Tell me what you see here, Scott Terry.
See that pitch inside? Now, how can he take that pitch on the inside corner and hit it to the left center gap? Only by staying inside of it. Most hitters right there, especially a young guy like him being a rookie, would get the head out in front of that and pull it foul. So he did a real good job of keeping that ball in play and driving it to the gap by keeping his hands inside.
So if I tell my kids to go up to Mr. Terry and kick him in the shin, you're going to say, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
You just calm, mild-mannered.
I'm going to tell him I've been kicked in the shin by a lot of people. A lot of 8-year-olds. You know, that's about where they hit you nowadays anyway. You know, the kids are great. Kids are great, though. Some of them are very outspoken.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know,
yeah.
Right when they get there, they've got a lot to say, and they think you want to hear it. And they actually think the other kids want to hear what they have to say, too.
And no one wants to hear it.
Not really.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's fun to try to control that and to try to, you know, mold their energy instead of take it away.
Sure.
There's too many people trying to take it away, but we like to just try to gear it in the right direction. And but they're fun. They have a lot of fun, and there's a lot of them that are really good at understanding the game and fans of the game. And there's others that are out there that don't have a clue.
We should mention it doesn't matter your level.
No.
And it's boys and girls.
It's boys and girls. Absolutely.
Ages 7 through 13.
And we usually keep the kids pretty close together to their own age group. You're not going to have a 7-year-old working with a 13-year-old.
I would imagine, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, with the Cardinals' success, you probably have seen an uptick in the interest of baseball maybe the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. All of our enrollment or our attendance at all these clinics has been pretty close to the same, but really on a gradual uptick. It's really never regressed at all.
It's great to have you here. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. And you guys come on out to a Cardinals Kids Clinic.
We will definitely do that. You heading to radio now?
I am.
With the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment. Game day, live audio and video highlights. And you can find that on your app for live baseball, your phone or tablet. Many thanks to Scott Terry. And by the way, if you'd like to get a lesson from Scott personally for your kids, make sure you do it. He's one of the best in the Midwest, really throughout the country, at All-Star Performance in Kirkwood. Does a terrific job.
Enjoyed your visit with him.
Good guy, man.
Among the list of people that he has taught over the years. Some of the last names of the people were Daly, Worrell, Van Slyke, Horton. Sent my son to him.
Did you?
And my nephew came in out from pitcher at Cornell, came out to take lessons from him all the way from New York because of my recommendation to my brother. And that's how much faith I have in Scott as a pitching coach. He's terrific. And those clinics are outstanding. They're fun. That's really the main thing, is it's just a fun experience.
Cardinals.com/clinics.
Whatever, dude.
I'm using that now with my kids, except they already use it on me.
If you use it on me, I'm going to hit you in the shins.
I like how Scott, he just rolled right with it. Yeah, we've had those guys too, Dan. Yep, kids.
Oh, he's seen it all.
I mean, they throw baseballs at our head and they kick us in the shins, but we still have a lot of fun, and we're spreading the gospel of Cardinal baseball. Whatever, dude.
Scott, by the way, got a degree in teaching.
Oh, did he really?
And it shows.
Yeah. The 2-2. Holiday hits it sharply, backhanded, and Descalso puts him away.
Six is a serious number at On the Run. When the Cardinals score 6, any size drink, Dan, is just 50 cents the next day. Coffee, fountain, or frozen. When they score, you pour at your nearest On the Run. I can know if I can do it like you. You earned it.
You know, you saved me on that. I was ready to sneeze.
I'm glad you turned.
I did.
To
I
your
turned
left.
this way. You have allergies at all, Ricky?
I think I'm getting them.
Tell you what. Sometimes I'm allergic to the guy sitting next to me. But not tonight, Ricky. Not tonight.
That's what you say to all the guys.
Tomorrow, Jim Edmonds will be with us.
You'll be dogging me then, and I know
I
how it
won't.
works. I understand.
I will not do that. Jimmy, can you believe what Ricky said the last 3 nights? Here's an 0-2 to Piscotty.
Jim is fun to work with, isn't he?
He's been great.
Did a lot of post games and pre games with him, and he just obviously knows the game. And when you talk about Jim Edmonds in St. Louis, people watch, people listen, they understand his status, his history, and just a terrific player and knows a lot about the game, and just thrilled that he's part of the team.
There's a broken bat, slowly hit left side. Arenado throws wide, and Reynolds is hurt on the play. Throw up the line, and Piscotty has his hands on top of his helmet. He knows that Mark Reynolds is hurt.
That is the vulnerable moment for a first baseman. When he has to lean with the glove to the inside part and try to avoid the runner, and Piscotty knows right away that that's a painful moment for Mark Reynolds.
Think about these thumb injuries. Peralta, Molina, they know about that too. If it is indeed a thumb or a hand or wrist. Ouch.
I almost can't imagine him staying in the game after that.
No. So Walt Weiss over to check on him.
Stephen Piscotty was grateful for people's concern for him when he had a collision in the outfield last August, I believe it was. And he's showing some clear concern for Mark Reynolds. I am amazed that he's staying in this game. assumption would be that nothing's broken and it was an awkward moment, but we've been talking about nagging injuries this entire game. We've seen Walters get hit twice. We saw Diaz get hit twice in the same at bat, hit a ball off his foot, then the ball hit him with the pitch, and now Reynolds. This is what we're talking about. This has happened multiple times. We're only in the 3rd inning. These little nagging injuries. So I'm surprised he's in the game, not because we're not grateful for the fact that something's not broken here, but that's how do you swing a bat after that?
It's fouled back by Matt Adams. Single to left and picked up 2 RBIs back in the first to make it 3-0, and then the RBI double by Carpenter made it 4-0 at the time, and now it's 4-2.
Shift is modified a little bit with Arenado a little bit more off the third base bag. They're giving him the bunt this time. Of course, there were runners on too when Adams was up last time, and there's a runner on second base you can't defend this way, or a runner on third base you can't defend this way. See if Matt can beat it again.
Here's a 1-1. Runner goes, swung on and missed, throw down to second and out. So Piscotty is thrown out by Walters, and there's 2 outs. Pitch was a strike on the swing, and it's 1-2 the count.
I thought Piscotty got stuck on that slide. He just kind of stopped. It didn't really get a good clean slide into the second base bag, and thought he was going to be safe, and almost as if he stuck about 10 feet out and slowed into the bag instead of flew into the bag.
Inside to Adams. The 2-2 pitch to Adams on its way. Pulled foul.
So you normally steal a base because you get a good jump. Let's take a look at the first couple of steps for Piscotty. Not a bad jump, kind of some short steps in the first few steps, but the slide to me still a bit like he's stuck to me.
Curveball, and that swung on and missed, and Adams strikes out. 2 strikeouts for John Gray. We head to the 4th. Diamondbacks, and you'll find all the games on Fox Sports Midwest and FS1. Friday and Sunday right here on Midwest. FS1 has the game Saturday. Cardinals and Diamondbacks this weekend. Return of Tony La Russa to town. Zach Greinke, Shelby Miller, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Jeremy Hazelbaker takes over in center field. A 4-2 Cardinal lead here in inning number 4. The check swing by Nolan Arenado, and it's called a ball. Only thing I can think with Grichuk, he was involved with the double and 2 RBIs back in the 3rd off the bat of Trevor Story. Chased down a ball. He scored from first base on the double by Matt Carpenter, which was back in the 2nd. But we'll wait till we get official word from the Cardinals as to why Randal Grichuk is not in this game.
You didn't sneeze on him, did you?
No, you're talking to the wrong member of Fox Sports Midwest. That's a little bit under the weather, brother. I'm going with the cat. If all else fails, blame the cat. It's a life lesson right there, Rick.
Fun to do, isn't it?
Just feels good. Comes natural.
He has broad shoulders.
He does. Here is Parra. I give the cat credit. He's battling right now and still here. He'll be in the post-game show. Bunt by Parra, and Molina can't get him. Little indecision between Wacha and Yadier Molina, and with that indecision, Parra beats it out.
I think Yadi was convinced that Wacha was going to make this play, and then he veered off at the last second, so Yadi had to get back after it. He's trying to stay out of Wacha's way, but by the time he gets to it, not in time at first base, Parra runs well. That could be a big miss. Good call.
What does that bat feel like in the hands right now of Mark Reynolds after that collision at first base?
You wouldn't think he could be 100% any way you look at it. We know that Descalso has been playing some first base. LeMahieu would be an obvious substitution for Reynolds, but he's going to give it the old college try.
One ball, one strike. Speaking of injuries and guys coming back, Johnny Peralta starts a rehab assignment with Class A Peoria tomorrow. 1-1 pitch, driven the other way, and a base hit. And the bases will be loaded as Reynolds takes that to right, and it brings in Descalso.
I guess when you've got a bad hand or wrist after a collision play at first base, you can still take the ball the other way on a pitch middle away. It may have been the easiest pitch for him to handle as opposed to something in on the fifth.
Sure. We always say it. Guy dealing with a hand injury or they take one off the leg, pitch him in. Descalso took it to left field his first time up on a 2-2 pitch. Daniel fouls it back. One grand slam in his career. Lower back tightness is what we're being told. The issue with Randal Grichuk as to why he left this game. Bases loaded and nobody out. Line drive and a base hit out to left, and this game is tied. Descalso is 2 for 2.
We'll look at location again from Michael Wacha. That is center cut. And Michael Wacha has been missing some location. Pitch to Reynolds. It was easy for him to handle. This one to Descalso. And frankly, with what we saw from Michael Wacha the first couple innings of this game, his stuff is too good to have given up 4 runs here in the 4th inning, even against a very good Rockies ball club. Just shows how tough this game is to stay on top of it, and you just can't make mistakes.
So runners at first and second for the catcher, and a ground ball that's hit to Adams. Gets it on the short hop and steps on the bag. If you're Michael Wacha, though, you're thinking I can get out of this inning with the pitcher up here, get that second out, and then deal with the top of the lineup. John Gray struck out his first time up. Because of the hair and it's kind of that sandy blonde, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Noah Syndergaard, who also throws smoke for the New York Mets.
Trying to make a Samson analogy. That's where the power comes from, the long hair.
Thor.
Might want to be clear on the squeeze sign. You would never go down and whisper, all right, the squeeze is on now. That's way too obvious. But then again,
one ball, one strike. Infield is in with the pitcher at the plate. Very late with that swing. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
so you fake the bunt, show the bunt twice, but you're swinging. So you have something else in his bag of tricks here. I would think the squeeze would be a good call here. Did not bunt very well his last time up. I don't think you'd want to take a guy out of scoring position on the chance that he gets the bunt down when you've got Charlie Blackmon on deck.
Lined foul. RBIs in this series have all been by the infielders of the Rockies, and now it's won by a pitcher. And with that, the Rockies lead this ball game 5-4. John Gray is now 1 for 12 and picks up his first RBI.
We've been centering on location for Michael Wacha. And here's another pitch, even with the pitcher at the plate, that's middle. And the explosive fastball that was riding for Wacha in the first couple of innings, he's just taking a step backwards.
So here's Charlie Blackmon, who singled to right, scored a run in the third, and struck out in the first. 5-4 Rockies, their first lead of the night. Wacha would love the double play. Really frustrating to understand how that would happen. You see it all the time, but you try to figure things out. You're frustrated, but then you have to figure it out in the middle of the game.
And also while things are happening that you're a part of and they're happening around you. I mean, the walk, that's the first bad issue of this inning. Leadoff base runner, but then the bunt where you didn't get an out. I think that just has had a snowball effect here this inning.
Oh, 0-2 the count. Ground ball hit to the right side. Wong gets the lead man. That's all they'll get. And a run does score to make it 6-4 Colorado. That's Descalso.
No real chance at a double play. You just got to make sure of one. Really taking a chance here is Colton Wong, and Diaz makes sure he stays on the bag to get that lead runner. I'm still a bit stunned with where this game is right now from what I saw from Wacha the first 2 innings. That's my overall sense about this game.
Very sharp early on, especially that first inning as the Cardinals pitch out.
Long way to go, obviously, but 6 runs here in the 4th is stunning.
4 runs have scored in this inning, including the first career RBI for John Gray, the pitcher of the Rockies. Single to right, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch count at 75. Wacha is due up 4th for the Cardinals, looking ahead to the bottom of this inning. 2-0 the count. Pirates have a lead over Atlanta 5-1. That's in the top of the 5th. Freddie Gonzalez found out that he was fired by getting an email.
A travel email.
Correct. It's an email about a flight
that he didn't know he was going to be on.
Right.
But he was on.
Tough way to find out.
I know the Braves are embarrassed about that, and Freddie took the high road on that and wished him the best. Really a tough situation right now in Atlanta.
Three and 1 the count on Trevor Story. His double into left center scored the first 2 runs for the Rockies tonight. And a ground ball hit up the middle. Diaz can't get there, and it's into center field. Take a look at our Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
It was the last delivery. That one not center cut. On the outside corner, but handled by Story. Again, this is a good hitting team. I want to take anything away from the Rockies and
now
keep them from getting the credit they deserve, but Wacha again just really surprised.
5 hits in the inning. 9th man to come to the plate is Gonzalez.
And really just now starting to throw is Tyler Lyons.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the pitch count at 80. Tim Lincecum officially signs with the Angels tonight.
We saw that one coming with the Angels and all their injuries. One of the teams on their list.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, it's hit to Adams. He'll take it himself. Big inning for the Rockies with 5 hits and 4 runs, and now they have their first lead. 6-4 Colorado. This year, Cardinals scoring more but allowing more, which is what Rick was talking about earlier. There are the numbers to back it up. The BJC Healthcare difference maker for the Cardinals.
Cardinals weren't allowing runs at all a year ago. It's just amazing how many 1-0, 2-1 games, 4-2 games, a lot of low scoring, well pitched games for the Cardinals a year ago. And you know, it's just the next level for the starting pitching to be able to night after night expect that 7 innings, 2 runs or less, and win a lot of games when you do that. Talked about being a bridge to the bullpen. The bullpen's been superb.
Here's Yadier Molina, grounded into a 6-4-3 double play, his first time up. The pitch at 96. Hazelbaker on deck. Randal Grichuk left this game with tightness in his back.
This is start number 15 in the career of Jon Gray, and it was his 14th start, his last outing against the Mets when he won his first game. So the stuff is great for him, but he's not been able to pick up a lot of wins. He did have a lack of run support the start before that. He should have had a victory there. It was a no decision, but we'll see what he does with a lead here in this game. He hasn't pitched very well either, and that doesn't help him. Leadoff walks when your team picks up 4 runs for you in the top of the inning. That's a no-no.
Second walk issued by Gray, and now Jeremy Hazelbaker, first plate appearance tonight. Spot occupied by Grichuk, who walked and scored on a double off the wall by Matt Carpenter. Scored all the way from first as Hazelbaker fouls it back for strike 1.
It's almost as if both offenses came to the park today and said, hey, last 2 games here, we're the best 2 offenses in the National League, and we've scored 3 runs in 2 games. Enough is enough. And now we've got a 6-4 game, a little more like what you'd expect with a Rockies Cardinals ball game in 2016.
A very short lead at first by Yadier Molina. Hazelbaker bunts it in the air, but it gets down, and it's a base hit.
I'm not sure that's the prettiest bunt that I've ever seen, but it sure worked. It was effective. Cardinals need base runners. Hazelbaker's been doing so many things well. He pops a bunt up. That normally doesn't work. But with the shift on, no one able to catch it. He's got an infield hit.
And here come the Cardinals. Now it's Colton Wong. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Pitch count at 59 with this upcoming pitch from John Gray. Good cut by Wong. Brandon Moss will pinch hit for Michael Wacha, and the Cardinals will go to Tyler Lyons. When Lyons has those extended outings coming out of the pen, he pitches really well. Numbers bear that out too.
Piled up the strikeouts a couple of times in those outings.
0-1 pitch. Take it inside. So Lyons is ready to roll, and for those of you that just joined us, Michael Wacha was really good the first 2 innings, and then last 2 hard to figure out what happened.
I would guess that's going to be his post-game comment. Not sure what happened. Sometimes you're not. It just happens.
What did you see?
Well, I saw less movement on his fastball. And I can't explain the why of that, but it seemed like his fastball was straighter the last 2 innings. And he also made more pitches in the middle of the plate. Location. And you saw a Rockies team that doesn't miss much of that.
Here's a 1-2. Ooh, good play to keep that ball in front. Evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's the quick movement of the catcher. Walters, highly rated as a catcher. Threw out 47% of his runners a year ago, and you know, he's really been a Double-A catcher. He's not had a lot of experience above that. He's only 23, but he moves well behind the plate.
The 2-2 pitch. Strikeout number 3. That's a big one there. So Moss will pinch hit for Michael Wacha.
Wong struck out down and in the first at bat. So Gray goes back to the well.
Cardinals welcome the Arizona Diamondbacks to St. Louis tomorrow. Again, games 1 and 3, Friday and Sunday. We'll be here on Fox Sports Midwest. Carlos Martinez and Patrick Corbin tomorrow. Kick off your summer with a drink that kicks your taste buds. The bold and refreshing taste. Frozen strawberry lemonade. It's back, and it's only at McDonald's. This could be a matchup. Brandon Moss hits it about 600 feet. If he gets a fastball and squares it up.
If the stars align correctly.
Yeah.
Watch out scoreboard.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Moss. Pinch hitting for Wacha.
Saw a home run hit in Busch Stadium 2, where all the stars aligned, and Craig talks about the strawberry home run off of Ken Daly. But Bob Horner hit one off of Danny Cox that hit the eagle that used to be in the left center field scoreboard. That was, I don't know the distance. I'm not sure we were even doing distances at the time. Let's just call it a blast. But the stars aligned that big. The power of Horner and Danny Cox fastball.
1-2 on Moss. Brandon Moss, the longest home run hit from this side of the plate in Busch Stadium 3 history. Happened earlier this season. Now with 2 strikes, you wouldn't anticipate he'd get a fastball.
Slider down and in, perhaps.
And the 1-2 pitch. 2-2. The 2-2. Many times in situations like these, you think about starting the runners, but with Moss,
Can't do it with Moss.
now he strikes out too much, and then you also have a left-hander at the plate, maybe an easier throw with your man at second base, Yadier Molina.
Can't afford it.
Run into a double play. 3-2 pitch to Moss. And he walked him. So 2 walks and a bunt base hit in this inning, and the Cardinals have the bases loaded.
It's interesting, he went to the slider 3-2 that we thought we'd see when he was ahead in the count. If he'd have thrown that pitch 1-2, I think he'd have gotten his man. But he loads the bases. Molina, Hazelbaker, and Moss. For a guy who had a nice little knockdown 7-iron off the right field wall. His last at bat.
Again, we've seen that swing before, but nothing like the power that he had with that swing to carry all the way to the wall.
Jock Peterson does that a little bit too.
Breaking ball drops in for a strike. Carpenter lined out to center. Then the RBI double. His 9th double of the year. RBI number 27. This big crowd is ready to explode as Busch Stadium is filled up. Big gap in right center. 0-1 pitch to Carpenter. In the air. Left center. Well hit. Blackmon is back. He'll look up. It's off the base of the wall. This game is tied. Matt Carpenter delivers with the bases loaded. 6-6.
Carpenter comes through, and one of the great things that happens with the bases loaded, you get to watch everybody run. Molina gets to tag up just in case. You see Hazelbaker getting a good break off a second, and taking off early from first base is Moss to get to third. And Matt Carpenter comes through. 2 more RBIs out of that leadoff spot. And look how good he's been with the bases loaded.
Clutch. Now Diaz. And with that, the Rockies get a right-hander up in their pen. 1 out, 2 on. Diaz pulls it foul.
You know, Dan, in our focus about Michael Wacha having good stuff, but yet looking up at the board and seeing 6 runs on 8 hits, you can say the same thing about their pitcher, John Gray. How's this happening to him?
Here's an 0-1 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop, Aledmys Diaz. I can remember maybe a handful of times that Diaz has been fooled on a pitch. I mean, it doesn't happen very often. Just so locked in to start this year.
Low strikeout totals because of it. Job now, put the ball in play.
And the 0-2 pitch to Diaz. Was hit by a pitch, scored a run in the first, and grounded out to second. The final line on Michael Wacha: 4 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs, all earned, walked 1, and had 4 strikeouts, 81 pitches.
It may be premature for me to say this, but I think the pitcher we're seeing right now for the Rockies may be better cast as a closer than a starter.
1-2 pitch. Diaz. Base hit into right. Cardinals back on top as a lead miss. Diaz makes it a 7-6 St. Louis lead.
Diaz was down in the count, 0-2, and he gets a center cut fastball. And again, just trying to put the ball in play, he got more than that.
Michael Wacha did not allow 6 runs in a start until last September 8th, his 26th start, and now their starter Gray has been knocked out. It's our Chevy call to the pen. Pitch arsenal for this right-hander as the Cardinals now have a lead of 7-6.
He's a guy that came up as a starter for the Rockies and was a part of their bullpen a year ago. And we saw this Rockies bullpen in game 1 come out throwing some gas. So they've got some good live arms in this organization. But they have to be kicking themselves that they can't hold a 6-4 lead. Tough night for Jon Gray. He's wondering what happened.
Holiday on the first pitch, pops it up. Reynolds is over and makes the catch. Then throws a strike to the plate. The former third baseman showing off the arm. Friday, June 3rd, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older have the opportunity to take home a replica of the 2006 World Series trophy. Get those tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
It's a little thing, but Matt Carpenter was smart there to tag up. And you say, well, why would you tag up? Well, the answer is it's a foul ball. Why wouldn't you? There's no reason not to. Something could happen. The 2 runners could collide down the right field line, or the 2 fielders could as they're backpedaling, and you force a throw. Maybe he throws it away.
2 outs and 2 on, and this is Stephen Piscotty.
Making a lot of noise over there.
So are these bats. Here's an 0-1 pitch. If you wanted to, back in the day, could you have grown a beard like some of these players are doing nowadays?
If I started then till now, yes. It would have taken me 30 years to get that one.
Wow. We had Willie Robertson in the booth a few years ago. Duck Dynasty, the show. It's a show that involves ducks, Rick.
Thanks for clarifying.
The 2-2 is pulled fair inside the left field line. 1 run will score. That's Carpenter. And Piscotty's had a big night. His 3rd hit. And the Cardinals add to their lead. It's now an 8-6 St. Louis lead.
How fair is this baseball? Piscotty, an inside pitch, turns on it. Right down the line. About an inch fair. Carpenter sees it, can score easily. And Diaz thought about trying to score from first.
Runners at 2nd and 3rd for Matt Adams. This is the situation that Adams had back in the 1st and singled to left that scored 2. So after the Rockies sent 9 to the plate, top half of this inning, the Cardinals have done here with sending 9 to the plate. Matt Adams a chance to add to the lead. The 1-0. We're in St. Louis, but it feels like we're at Coors Field. It's 8-6. We're only in the 4th. Both starters out. Here's a 1-1 to Adams.
By the way, that was a brilliant point you just made.
Thanks, Rick. I mean, the part about the Duck Dynasty.
No, it's in my contract. I have to say that once a year to you, like it or not.
Had it in my contract, you would never be on camera. But apparently the guys in the truck didn't see that. I would just prefer that you show up in the 5th inning, add a couple sentences, and then call it a night.
Contracts like.
Get over here, Ricky.
Like
You're one of my best buddies.
are
You're one of my best friends.
Made to be broken. Thanks, Dan.
Whatever, dude.
Well, you said, Dan, it was brilliant. What every Cardinal fan's thinking. This feels like a Mile High or a Coors Field game, and even more so now.
Add to it with 2 more and have a night, Matt Adams. 4 RBIs for the big man. And the Cardinals have a lead of 10-6.
Well, Matt Adams showing that he doesn't get all of his hits the other way. And this is why they have done the shift on him in the past. Base hit to right. Turns on it. 2 more Cardinals score. This is a good old-fashioned American League game, isn't it?
Molina down the right field line, foul. It's a good old-fashioned American League game, Coors Field game. Long night for both starters, but still a long ways to go. Strike two, Yadier Molina, 0-2.
I've told you about the start in AAA years ago that I had in Denver against Al Hrabosky. The game we're watching, a lot like that one.
Feel sorry for both you guys.
We were both not very good. Al loves remembering that.
Sure he does. How many runs did you guys give up?
I gave up, he gave up 5 in the first and was out. I gave up 6 in the first and I was out.
Good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. A couple hard-throwing lefties.
Wonderful game. That was in Mile High.
The 2-2. Spoiled by Yadier Molina. People could see what happens sometimes in a booth. That was almost the greatest highlight of the night. Rick went back to sit back in his chair. The chair broke in half and almost sent him to the floor. Molina, high fly ball into deep left center field, and it is caught by Parra. Love the 6 runs. The icing on the cake would have been Rick on the floor.
I'm fine. Thanks, Dan.
As we move to the 5th inning, and the Cardinals have the lead, and it's Tyler Lyons in relief of Michael Wacha, and our Chevy called to the pen.
We talked about the importance of the Cardinals bullpen in this game as a key to the game. because they've been so good, but now they have to be good for longer. You have the lead, but you need 5 innings of well-pitched relief work to make this work.
So Brandon Moss stays in the game. That's a tough night when you have a pair of hits and 4 RBIs and you're pulled in the middle of the game. That's what's happened here with Matt Adams. So Lyons is in. Tough play. Look at that. Ranging to his left, Colton Wong. Nicely done.
Colton Wong has been making some very good plays out of zone, and you can add that to the list. Good range. A lot of his errors have been on simpler plays, not the tough ones. That was a great play. Actually made that look easy. It was not.
Gaining confidence at the plate and in the field. Here's Parra.
So 9 batters in the top of the 4th, 10 batters in the bottom of the 4th. That was a long inning.
A lot of people checking in with us, and they're concerned over your chair status. And everything seems to be okay, and you're okay.
Oh, you worried about the chair or me? What are you asking about? Chair's a little
Jimmy's
wobbly.
got to sit in that tomorrow, so I'm a little bit more worried about the chair.
We'll get him a new one.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And also people asking me about you and Al squaring off. I'm assuming Al was maybe coming down. You were going up.
Correct.
Okay.
He was with the Denver team, which I believe was the White Sox at the time.
Yeah, his last year was with Chicago, I believe. So you had a little issue with your finger.
Yeah, I have an injury that I didn't really want to bring up, but of course I told you between innings. You always have to have an excuse. And I was hoping you'd bring that up. My finger hurt. The Wainwright injury where you strain a tendon, or I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it's tendonitis in your finger, and that was my excuse.
I know Al is watching and listening, and as you know, Al, Ricky always full of excuses. It wasn't just his bad night. He was probably intimidated by you, clearly. But we'll go with the finger injury, quote unquote. 2 outs. Yes, Rick?
I'm just excited that it's only the top of the 5th.
Think about how much time we can spend together.
That's what I'm thinking.
I just wish we had a little fun doing these games together, you know?
Well, honestly, you and I both share the same philosophy about the game of baseball. This is not the nightly news with world issues and problems, and I mean this is a diversion. This is supposed to be fun for people at the ballpark, for the players, for the manager. I think we can't lose sight of that you might get aggravated that your team loses on a given night, but you know, you're here to have fun. You're here to enjoy this and to connect with people, your family, and just the fun of the game. And I think there are times where we get a little too serious about this game.
Well, Reynolds not having fun.
Were we just talking about being a little too serious?
Yeah, I think so. And he's about to be ejected.
Love this game. Having fun.
and bad. Facing Ricky helped me realize it was time to find a new gig.
Oh, that's great.
Al, we miss you, and we've been telling everybody, you've been asked about every single day, wherever we go. Where's Al? How's he doing? And we'll let the fans know that Al is resting comfortably. Had a little surgery, but nothing serious, and he's going to be back very soon with us. And well, we just miss him. We love him.
We do. Look forward to having him back. Absolutely.
This is our Chevy call to the pen.
Justin Miller, one of the 6 right-handers they have in their bullpen. 15th appearance for him. And we are going to get deep into this Rockies bullpen. It'll be interesting how far Tyler Lyons can go to bridge to the 8th and 9th inning relievers for St. Louis.
That's how you do it. Just say happy birthday to me.
Send yourself a card, make yourself a cake, get yourself a sign.
Borrow your parents' credit card, get yourself something nice.
Good call.
It's a shot of the camera being held and used by Phil Nichols tonight. Beautiful shot. You know, we used to go into Denver, and many times you'd have 9 relievers in their pen. I remember one time we were there with 10 because before the humidor, you just didn't know how long games would go and how long a starter would go, and then after that, how many relievers you'd have to use.
You remember the 2-year period when the Rockies were doing the piggyback routine at the big league level too, which confused it even more. Because really everybody was a starter, everybody was a reliever. They were having pitchers pitch 3 or 4 innings, maybe 3, and then having another one. They were having 2 starters every game, and it was odd. And so they're all really relievers, but they're also, a few of them are starters. It just was their way of developing their guys. They were trying it out, and I'm not sure it worked very well.
10-6. Here's Hazelbaker. Bunted and scored last inning. They tried all different types of things too. They spent a ton of money with Denny Nagel, Mike Hampton, Darryl Kyle. Kyle's breaking ball wasn't the same. Then he regained that form here in St. Louis. Then they looked at drafting sinker ballers. I asked somebody recently, I said, if you're drafting for the Rockies, how would you draft in terms of pitching? They said, we got to find guys that miss bats. I said, well, doesn't every team try to find those guys? They said they do, but some have an emphasis with 2-seam guys. Some look at power arms.
So Mike Leake wouldn't be a guy that you'd sign.
Right. They said we got to find guys because of our ballpark, even with the humidor, that miss bats.
Not that Leake never does that, but he's a contact guy. He's a get ground balls, sinker ball pitcher. There's a guy that knows how to miss bats.
We'll see him tomorrow. That's Carlos Martinez. One out, nobody on. And Wong sends a fly ball into shallow right. Late break by Gonzalez, and the backhanded catch is made by Daniel Descalso, the second baseman. Nice play. Fans can purchase a special theme ticket to Bud Bash, get an exclusive bobblehead and autograph from David Eckstein next Tuesday. Cardinals.com/Bud Bash, and the Cubbies will be in town. We forget Daniel Descalso at one point was a finalist for a Gold Glove at third base. David Freese would play the first, let's say, 6 or 7 innings, and then Descalso would come in late for defensive purposes, and he was a money player. Some big hits along the way too. Think about the Washington series in 2012 when the Cardinals fell behind Chris Carpenter screaming on the bench, "We're not out of this. We're not out of this." And Descalso and Pete Kozma, two that you didn't expect to come through in that form or fashion, came through with a big night and a couple of big hits.
And the base hit that he had against the lefty for Texas in the World Series,
Darren Oliver,
both he and John Jay, underrated moments because there were so many good moments in that World Series. But if he doesn't, game's over. If he doesn't come through.
It's fun for me is a chance to see these guys now establish themselves as major leaguers. Daniel Descalso is a minor leaguer on a Caravan. We always say, hey, one of these players could be the next big leaguer we're going to be talking about. And certainly it turned out to be a Daniel Descalso. Michael Walker was on the Caravan with me before he became the MVP of the NLCS. And Daniel had the chance to go on the cruise with him. Lovely wife. Just a good guy.
Good teammate.
Typical Cardinal type player, too.
Gritty player.
Could move all over the infield. 2-2 is popped up by Moss. And this will be Reynolds. Good to see Daniel Descalso back in St. Louis. He's got a couple of hits here tonight. Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Chris Sale starts tonight against Houston, trying to go to 9-0 with an ERA below 2, and he is leading 1-0 in the 5th. Milwaukee takes 2 of 3 against the Cubs, and Steven Strasburg, he's 6-0, takes on Matt Harvey, and the Nationals lead 9-1 in that game. Matt Harvey 2 2/3, 8 hits, 9 runs. Here's Descalso. Against Tyler Lyons, and the first pitch is taken for a ball.
Been a real up and down year for Matt Harvey, and also Zach Greinke is off to a bad start.
You buy into the fact that Harvey had the heavy workload last year of postseason play, and maybe that is a factor into a slow start of this season?
I think that's possible. You know, you're supposed to get, even if you pitch deep into a season, you get November, December, January, February off. You'd think you'd be able to recover.
Wong makes the play and retires Descalso.
I wonder if there's going to be some studies about how players handle their off seasons and even spring training, and how much you throw after a big workload year.
Everybody has an opinion as to why Tommy John is so prevalent right now. Again, you're a guy that pitched in this league. You pitched through injuries. You saw a number of injuries. You were a pitching coach. Why do you think it is? It's an epidemic right now in the game.
Yeah, and well, I think there's a couple things with that. I think you've got more understanding of what's really going on physiologically, so they're making the determination quicker instead of releasing a player and say, oh, he's just got a bad arm. Now you know why, so you have the surgery to fix it. But I think you have more pitchers now who are working maximum effort. They're bigger, they have bigger mass in their bodies and their arms, which creates more tension on tendons and ligaments, and they're not just kind of flipping the ball up there. It's, especially the guys out of the bullpen, it's 100% every time.
We see more of a specialization of the game too, so starters don't, you know, back off a little bit, if you will, to get you to 8 or 9 innings, and the guys that come in, they're full bore. 2-2 the count on Tony Wolters. And a strikeout for Lyons, his second of the night. I have a story that involves Jim Hayes, and I'm going to give him a lot of credit for what's happened tonight.
Okay.
Jim went to Matt Adams and said, your walk-up music needs to be CNC Music Factory. Everybody dance now. So Matt Adams decided, all right, Cat, I'm doing it.
That's his influence. That's how big an influence Cat has.
Did it tonight. Matt Adams, 4 RBIs, 2 hits.
Obviously, Mike Matheny was tired of hearing that song, so pulled him. Part of a double switch. And
So
the double switch, the idea of the double switch, and there's all kinds of thoughts about this, but I think he's trying to make sure he can keep Tyler Lyons in for 3 innings and extend his outing as long as possible before you get to that pitcher spot.
1-2. So for the assembled media, it'll be Wacha, Matheny, Adams, Carpenter, and probably the Cat. Need to talk to him and get to the bottom of this. There's a breaking ball and a strikeout.
Sometimes you cover the story, and sometimes, Dan, you are the story. Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
You can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, and log in. Stream the Cardinals wherever you go. Former Cardinal George Frazier, working on the radio side for the Colorado Rockies, lives in Oklahoma and watches us, he told me, every single night. Funny guy.
Son has been a player in the minor leagues.
Son now pitching in the Independent League down in Texas, and his manager is Gary Gaetti. That's a player we don't talk a lot about. Cardinals of 1996, new ownership group came in, spent some money. Andy Benes, Gary Gaetti, Ron Gant, and a team that was one win away from the World Series. You know, you used to tell me, you said that may have been my dark period when I just got out of the game and I wasn't really paying attention. I never understood that. I'm starting to get it now, and I'm dead serious about this. More and more I talk to players, they say I need a year or two away from the game. It came up in our conversation today with Matt Holliday in our speaker series. I said, what do you want to do after baseball? And he said, the first thing I need to do is get away from it. I need to be a dad. I need to be around. I need to raise my kids, not travel. Just want to be home. And then he said, I might join you in the booth.
Come join us. That'd be great.
It'd be fun. As Carpenter strikes out.
And all those reasons are part of the reasons that you just said, family, etc. But honestly, players go through a grieving process of no longer being able to do what you've done since you were 6 years old. You've always had a number on your back, and now you don't have one. You've always had teammates, and now you don't have any. I mean, literally, for how many years would that be? 25 straight years of being connected in that way, and now you're disconnected. And there's a grief that you go through of sorts.
There's one out and Aledmys Diaz, and he pops it foul. Gary Gaetti, good player. 360 home runs, over 2,200 hits. Number of years with the Minnesota Twins. I wish you and our fan base could have seen, though, Holliday in that setting. Very similar to how he was with us in the booth last year. Relaxed, having fun. He said, hey, did you ask Ricky? You know, he did bring you up. And he said, you know, I called that Molina triple pretty well last year.
He did.
I said, well, all right, then. We'll figure out a spot.
Three-man booth. Let's go.
Let's do it.
He's kind of busy right now.
He is. 0-2 pitch. Diaz puts it in play, and a grounder hit to second. Said, I still have something left in the tank. It's not a situation where I'm ready to give it up. I understand I'm the oldest guy on the team. I wish Randy Cho was still here. Here's an 0-1 pitch. We talked a little bit about football. Matt Holliday, for folks that don't know, was a parade All-American quarterback coming out of high school. I said, well, you made the right decision. especially on the 1st and the 15th.
Right.
He said, I agree. He said, but this has been a perfect marriage for him. The Cardinals, his family, what he's done with Cardinal Glennon and helping so many kids and families that we never hear about. And the homers for health and the K's for kids. He's done a lot, Rick, I'm telling you, with a lot of kids that are sick. Many times making visits to the hospitals across the city after games with no fanfare, no media. I'm telling you, there are certain guys that, as you know, beg for that publicity.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And he's one that shies away from that, just tries to do the right thing. Good person. His wife Leslie has been involved with that too.
Well, the right thing's the right thing, whether people know about it or not, and that has to be the motivation, and he gets that.
2-2 pitch. Make a pledge, by the way, at Glennon.org. Whatever amount of money you want, Glennon.org, to help those kids. They've got a big night coming up with all the players with the game shows. He said, I don't know if all my teammates will be there. He said, I know, his words, one knucklehead that will be there, and that'll be Adam Wainwright. He said, so if we have to do all the goofy skits, he said, I'll be happy to do it with him.
Glad you said his words.
Right. He said, you know what? He said, by the way, these pitchers, they got it easy. He said, Wainwright can act like a quote-unquote knucklehead, his words, all he wants. He said, for 4 days, these guys just hang out. So he was taking really a shot at you too, Rick, because you're a former pitcher.
I got to agree with him. I hate to say that, but there's no better feeling than being Adam Wainwright today after pitching well yesterday. I mean, you are just as, you are as chilled as you can possibly be that next day. And you're really actively resting, but resting, watching a big league game, front row seat, with a win around your neck.
And a swing and a miss. And again, to make a pledge, Glennon.org. Nicely done, Matt Holliday and Cardinal Glennon. The Lions, and as you said, Rick Horton, you thought, you know what, you may see one of those multi-strikeout games, and the situation where Lyons goes deep into the game out of the bullpen, and lo and behold, here it is.
Well, both Lyons and Miller for the Rockies have really kind of brought this game back to normalcy. A lot of runs through the first 4 innings of this game, and Lyons 2 perfect innings, and Miller 2 perfect innings.
Reminder, get the best seats anywhere we play. That's with StubHub. Get the StubHub app today. Here's Charlie Blackmon. Kids pretty soon will be out of school. Some already out of school. You'll see the ballpark filled up even more. Blackmon retired.
Well, Tyler Lyons has only needed Yadier Molina, Colton Long, and a first baseman so far, as he has 3 strikeouts and 4 ground balls to the Cardinals second baseman. He's making those look easy right now.
Here's Trevor Story. 1 out and nobody on as we play here in the top of the 7th. Kids at the ballpark, big crowd. Many fans keeping an eye on the Blues game.
The Cardinals needed a spot starter sometime during the remainder of this season, and we're at the quarter point of the season today, by the way. In my mind, Tyler Lyons is that guy. He'd be next in line to do that.
It's been stretched out a little bit too. Matt Bowman would have been in that conversation as well.
I would agree. Tyler Lyons spoke last year to the Scholar Athlete group. Did that a year ago. Yesterday was Matt Bowman. Must be something in that long reliever. Smart enough to get a job in the big leagues by being a starter in a reliever routine.
High fly ball, deep left field. Holiday back, runs out of room, and this baby is gone. Trevor Story with his 12th home run.
Story with home run number 12. Breaking ball from Lyons, and it sat there a little bit. Just sat up in the zone. Didn't have the sharp break to it. And Story's having quite a night.
3-hit night and now a triple away from a cycle. 3 RBIs. I guess the question would be right now, he's at 34 pitches. How long could you go with Lyons? Do you think that 50 to 60 range?
I would think this is his last inning no matter what, with him coming up next inning, and I think that's the extra inning that they bought for him, is to him pitch here, and he has been good. Take the one batter away. This reminds me a little bit of Kekeffer's game that we had on the road trip, where he was dominant and yet gave up a home run, but still essentially pitched well, just not perfect. You pitch 3 innings out of the bullpen, give up a solo home run. I can live with that.
The 2-2 and a swing and a miss. His Cargo is a strikeout. That's number 4.
Gonzalez now 2 for his last 28. Came in not hot, and the Cardinals have made it worse.
Two balls, no strikes on Nolan Arenado. And it's 3-0. So much of this game is about timing. In Trevor's story, the hands, the leg kick, and everything comes together and then just explodes into the baseball. It's a 2-out walk. Look at the timing and how everything has to come together. Leg kick, yeah.
The weight shift. That's what happens when we talk about a pitcher hanging a pitch or throwing one that's not as sharp. The hitter is able to create his own timing on the pitch because he sees it right away. If it's quick and sharp and nasty, you're reacting to the pitch. If it's a hanger, you control what your body does a lot better.
And a ground ball that's hit to short. Diaz to Wong, and a force play at second. Time to stretch. Story, his 12th home run, cuts into the lead. It's 10-7. Honda home run inning. Cardinals player hits a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. And a big night for Stephen Piscotty, and he'll lead it off for the Cardinals. Piscotty, the one Lions spot, and Yadier Molina. Stephen, ground rule double and an RBI back in the first. Infield hit, caught stealing in the third. RBI double in the fourth. He's now up to 13 doubles. This is Scott Oberg appearing for the 8th time. And Ryan Rayburn takes over in left field.
Oberg was a rookie a year ago. 64 appearances out of the Rockies bullpen. Justin Miller steadied the ship. 2 solid innings, 3 strikeouts. 6 up, 6 down for Justin Miller, and he's given his team a chance to win this game. It's just a 3-run game. There's a lot of baseball ahead here.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. How about this offense of the Cardinals? 9th time this season the Cardinals have scored 10 or more runs. They did that 9 times all of last year, the entire season. How many times, Rick Horton, do you see Willie McGee miss a pitch by about 2 feet? Then the next pitch, he hits a rope somewhere.
Many times. In fact, that's what Mike Matheny was saying about Hazelbaker a couple of days ago. He has the ability to do that too. Look bad on a pitch and then hurt you.
Willie McGee officially a part of the Cardinals front office. Special assistant to John Mozeliak, and will make trips throughout the summer to the various stops in the minor leagues. The 2-2. Cardinals have added Jason Isringhausen doing that. And it's not just a quick stop, it's a long stop in which they'll be with those players for a week, 10 days. Ryan Ludwig, Braden Looper also doing that. Here's a 3-2 pitch. And hits Piscotty.
I would say both teams' trainers are going to have to order a couple extra bags of ice.
Man,
there have been a lot of issues in this game, and a lot of issues that could have been worse. When you talk about a player getting hit in the wrist area, inside of the wrist, there's a bone there. I mean, you know how fragile that can be with a baseball coming in at 90 miles an hour. If it catches you the wrong way, it's bad news. You saw Reynolds hurt. Walters hit a couple of times behind the plate. Diaz in the first inning. Glad that they're all still in this game.
Here's Jed Jerko. And the 1-0 pitch. Fastball at 95. Must be a pretty good breaking ball. We've seen now a couple of the Cardinals fooled on that pitch from Oberg.
Oberg is from Tewksbury, Massachusetts. I think they named the town after Bob Tewksbury.
Wow, Tewksbury, Massachusetts, huh? Bob working for the Boston Red Sox.
And evidently has a town.
Who knew?
He had a good curveball, among other things. He could get you out. Talk about a pitch to contact guy. He could throw 9 innings, not sweat, and throw less than 85 pitches.
How do guys, though, like that make it to the big leagues when every scout is looking for someone that's throwing 95 to 100?
They don't now. I think it's harder now to do that. Of course, Tewksbury threw harder when he was a minor league pitcher with the Yankees. John Tudor's another example of who was also a Red Sox, also lives in Boston, doesn't have a town named after him, to my knowledge. But when they were younger, they did throw harder, so they were given a chance, learned how to pitch, and were actually better with less velocity.
You remember that curveball he threw Mark McGwire?
Oh yeah.
Just floated it up there. Left on the bench for Mike Matheny, Tejada and Fryer, the backup catcher. And Lyons has done a really good job here tonight. His night is through. He's got a chance to pick up a win. Brings in Yadier Molina. Remember one night working with Tim McCarver, and he talked about something as simple for a catcher of how their hands get beat up. And it made me think about last night, the innings that this man has caught. He's now the all-time leader in innings caught for the St. Louis Cardinals, if those hands will ever be 100%.
The tag play at the plate last night.
Sure.
An example of that. And it's not in the box score anywhere. It's not in the highlights of the game. Well, it is in the highlights, but you might miss it. That on a successful tag play at the plate in the first inning, which was a key point in that game, which came in the first inning when Blackmon tried to score. Yadi caught his fingers against Blackmon and was in pain for a second. That just doesn't go away.
And then you further it. If your hands and your fingers don't feel well, how tough it is to grip a bat and swing a bat. And I think about it too all the time, Rick, when we have that super slow-mo look of when the catcher gets a fastball and you see just how much they absorb.
Oh yeah.
In the pocket of the glove and then in the hand. There's a look at Eric Fryer, the backup catcher. He knows what we're talking about, and so does Mike Matheny.
All too well.
High fly ball. Deep left center field. Parra is back and the catch is made. Check that. That's Rayburn. He makes the catch and a throw back into the infield. Nice play by Ryan Rayburn.
Well, you were talking about the hand strength of Yadier Molina, and we've been talking the last couple of weeks, Dan, about the fact that Yadi's strength is coming back. Those are 2 long balls he's hit today in the left center field and almost gets it out of here. Almost a double. Nice play by Rayburn. Yadi just missed a couple. If he pulled either one of them just a little bit more, he'd have 2 home runs in this game.
And again, the hands on the top of the helmet. He had that reaction after hitting into a double play last night, started by Nolan Arenado on a diving stop to his left. Hazelbaker hits it out of play. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I think we need another bag of ice. As he crashed into the wall a bit, he's been shaking his right wrist.
You think about it, for these guys that come in one time a year, this ballpark, you're not used to it. Going up against the wall, and many times you talk to outfielders that are able to count their steps or have a good feeling when they hit on the track. A sliding catch by Charlie Blackmon. Takes a hit away. That'll send us to the 8th, and it's 10-7 St. Louis. outdoor autograph nights. Friday, May 20th, 2 current Cardinals will sign autographs for fans 15 and under. Ford Plaza from 5:45 to 6:15. 2 former Cardinals will sign for fans of all ages from 6:15 until 7. For details, visit cardinals.com/promotions. Our Chevy call to the pen takes us to Seung-Hwan Oh. He has been terrific for the Cardinals out of the bullpen. First pitch, a fastball at 93 to Mark Reynolds. And we're underway here in the 8th inning. We thought Reynolds might be taken out of this game. He had a collision at first base with Stephen Piscotty in a ball that was thrown up the line, and glove came flying off. Thought he might be hurt, but he stayed in there. Picked up a base hit to right after that. Chases that slider. You don't see Seung-Hwan Oh pitch anybody inside. Everything is to the middle outer half. A lot of swings and misses with that slider. The 1-2 pitch. There's your ground ball and a broken bat taken by Aledmys Diaz. 6 is a serious number. Get any size coffee, fountain, or frozen drink tomorrow. Just 50 cents at your local On the Run. Use the On the Run app to find your nearest store. You earned it. Monday night, Seung-Hwan Oh struck out the side on 11 pitches. 3rd time this year with 3 strikeouts in 1 inning. Did that at Pittsburgh, at San Diego, and 2 nights ago against Colorado. Bullpen has been almost perfect in this series. Coming into play tonight, that's fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dan, where do you rate O in terms of the surprises coming out of spring training?
Good question.
Top 3, top 4.
Yeah, for sure. I put Molina and Hazelbaker and Diaz all as surprises for me. And I say Molina. People would say, why did you say him? Well, he wasn't swinging a bat for 3/4 of spring.
And we weren't sure. I mean, worst case scenario, whether he would. I mean, you have a 3rd surgery on an area, you don't know that that's going to work. I mean, there was at least some doubt, and certainly a lot of doubt that he'd be ready for opening day, and he's been more than ready.
I thought O was okay in spring training. I didn't think he was great. It wasn't overpowering for a guy that you hear is this terrific closer.
Didn't wow you.
Didn't wow me. That's the best way to put it. But regular season got here and his confidence has grown. He's in high leverage situations. The more I watch him, I love it. So I would put him, like you said, in my top 3 or 4. Stay tuned after the game tonight. Blues Live, our post-game show. Player interviews. Hear from the guys who just know the Blues the best. Missouri Lottery Blues Live post-game on Fox Sports Midwest. Coverage continues after Cardinals baseball. So I switch the question to you.
I put Yadi 1. I would put Diaz 2 and O 3.
I thought he'd be serviceable,
but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about good surprises in all of those cases. There are times where you're surprised the other way. I would say I'm surprised at the slow start offensively for Randal Grichuk. That's not a negative on Randal. I think he's a terrific player, but spring training, wow, was he good.
Best player, position player.
Leake was the best pitcher. He was the best position player.
How about Seung-Hwan Oh? He comes in, strikes out 2.
It's not this easy.
Live look at the Central West End. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise 1-2 right now. And by your local Volkswagen dealer. (10-7). Cardinals lead the Rockies. Love seeing those live shots. Various cameras we have set up throughout St. Louis. Nissan drive of the game, Big City. New walk-up music for him, thanks to Jim Hayes, and 4 RBIs tonight.
Think he has that song in his head right now?
Oh, yeah. Wong to short, tough play here, and he's safe. Beat it out. This is a special day in your life. You were just told that an animal was named after you. Plaza Tire Fox Tracks.
I'm not sure how to segue the two of those things, but here's a base hit, infield hit for Wong. Speed doesn't go into slumps, so they say. So you have, every once in a while we'll get a hit. Yes, I had friends that actually had a bull born this morning, and they named that little guy after me. Ricky H.
And you're being serious.
You can actually see a picture if you get on Twitter, Ricky H49. I'm sure Danny Mac TV will retweet it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Not sure we've ever had a story like that make it on Cardinal television, but there's always time for a first.
You brought it up.
Why would someone name a bull after you?
Bull, me. Well, I think our fans can write their own joke to that.
There's an 0-2 pitch. And that gets away. Wong will advance to second base.
Plaza Tire Service Fox Track. Almost couldn't chart that one. Almost off the screen.
Outside and low to Moss. Our crowd tonight 43,683. 43683. Just went to your Twitter account, and there is a striking resemblance.
Tough looking guy, isn't he?
Here's a 3-2 pitch to Moss. Outside, and the Cardinals have something going here in the bottom of the 8th.
Just a 10-7 game. An add-on here would certainly help. And you've got the right guy at the plate to do it. 3 RBIs, a couple of hits for Matt Carpenter.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'm sure there are a lot of parts of this telecast that most folks would not want to disseminate
or reproduce
or retransmit.
And a ball to Carpenter. 2 runners on, and Carpenter hits it out of play.
Outfield playing Carpenter to hit the other way. The infield with the shift. This configuration is where Matt Adams got a big hit in this game. There have been plenty of hits in this game. The interesting, Dan, I think it's already been developed somewhat because I know the Cubs made a conscious effort to say that after 1 year of employing shifts the way they did, they studied their own shifts and realized that it was a net negative. So they decided to do less of it or do it differently. So how do you actually come up with the number that proves that it worked? You're shifting and predicting, but not as a measure of results.
A tough night for Tony Walters. Another wild pitch. He's been beat up. Plaza Tire Service replay. Fox Tracks. Infield is drawn in. Carpenter trying to add to the 10-7 lead. The 2-2 pitch. Just missed. Aledmys Diaz is on deck.
You see why Carpenter is 5th in the National League in walks. His eye is so good. He's actually 4th with 29 walks. Takes what the pitcher gives him. Very seldom does he extend or expand his zone beyond something he can handle.
Rips it out to deep right field. Carpenter with an exclamation point on a huge night. 2 doubles. Now the home run. And Matt Carpenter makes it 13-7 St. Louis.
Have a night, Matt Carpenter. He worked it to 3-2, so he gets this. Middle, and it sneaks over the wall. Ball not carrying very well the last few days. That shows how hard he hit that ball. And that is now 6 RBIs.
I think they want to make sure that this
Carpenter
truly is a home run. As Carpenter at one point in his trot started to speed it up just in case. Walt Weiss may be asking that too.
Jim Wolf was confused, the first base umpire. He said safe. That was the first thing he said. He said it was not a home run at first.
Clearly a home run.
Well, the question I think that they want to talk about is, was that young man's glove over the fence or not, which it was not, as we saw in the replay. He's mad he didn't catch it. Wow, he's really mad.
I'll tell you what, let's give that fan some credit. He did not reach over the wall.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get a souvenir. And so, Rick, your night is through. Go ahead and take a ball to that young man, make him happy, and I've got the rest of this telecast.
Where's Jim Hayes when you need it? He kept his hands back a little bit.
The reaction is great, though. And you talked about ice for the...
I should have had it.
It's right off my glove.
I should have
had it.
Did you see him throwing his hands on the ground on their first replay of that?
And he's got a first baseman's mitt. Biggest glove you can take.
He's actually talking to the glove manufacturer and saying there's a defect in the glove.
He also was on the phone in New York. Gentlemen, I did not reach over the wall.
Oh, he's got a direct line to Mission Control there in New York?
Yes. By the way, is he using a flip phone? That could be Inspector Gadget out there. Or maybe Get Smart. By the way, you're saying everybody needed some ice. He may need ice too, because he was banging on the rock in the railing out there. Popped up off the bat of Aledmys Diaz. The catch made by Reynolds.
Well, here's what we're talking about. So he's got a full story.
Yeah. There's no way that that phone fits in a pocket. None. You've seen Wall Street, right?
I have.
It's like the Michael Douglas phone when he's on the beach. You should see this view, Rick.
Whatever.
Dude.
You knew that was coming.
2-0 the count on Holiday. Looks like Carpenter needs a first baseman's mitt. He's going to borrow Matt Adams and take over at first base.
Or he could go out into the right field bleachers and grab that guy's glove.
Somewhere, Gordon Gekko is nodding in approval. Strikeout of Holiday.
So you want passion at the ballpark, and that's not just the players, it's the fans. Notice the fan in the middle, he missed it. Guy in the red, oh, he's so close. Watch the reaction. No! He continued to wear his heart on his sleeve.
So 2 outs and a strike to Stephen Piscotty. I give him all the credit in the world, though. It would have been easy to be Jeffrey Mayer and reach over the wall and take that over. But he didn't. Stayed back on it. And it's 0-2 on Piscotty. It's just a natural reaction for any fan to reach over a wall. It just is.
We actually saw it earlier down the left field line on the ball I believe Piscotty hit, where a fan pulled the glove back as well, just in case Diaz was going to score the second run, and that could have been a difference. I noticed a fan doing the same thing, taking, well, just being patient and being restrained, as you mentioned. The ball's in play, and while it's in play, you have to leave it alone, or you may affect the outcome.
Brings a glove to the game specifically to make the catch. And doesn't get the souvenir.
I feel bad.
I do too. I'd love to have that young man have a souvenir of some sort.
Baseball, new phone.
The phone is probably the highest of technology that is out there. Can we get out there soon enough to get him something? I mean, look at that, Rick. I mean, his head was down. He's upset.
I'm sure he would say you just have to turn the page.
I think maybe what we should do is have somebody from the post game grab that individual, bring him on over and say, describe what happened with this play. What did you see? Why did you stay away from it? Why didn't you catch it? Why not?
I think it's a good idea. Is Jimmy busy right now?
Send Edmonds into the bleachers?
Sure.
I'm sure Jimmy's listening and he'd be happy to do it. Scott Warman has got time. Catcher has had a tough night. Cardinals now have 12 three-run homers this season, most in the major leagues. We've got to be able to do something for that fan, Rick.
Running out of time, Dan. You and I are a little occupied right now.
Took that square off the mask.
I've got a baseball. You think I could throw one that far?
There's people sitting a few rows ahead of us. I'd be ducking.
Just give it to somebody below and just tell them to pass it down until it gets to it.
3-2 pitch.
Uh-oh.
Get there to him. That one will not carry to that fan. Matt Carpenter with a 3-run homer. He'll take over at first base. Carpenter's up to 9. thank you. Again, you have a task at hand. That's to invite the fan over to the post-game set. Cardinals leadoff hitters with 6 or more RBIs in a game since 1920. Carpenter tonight against Colorado. And the last to do it, remember Sean Dunston, the longtime Cub, was here in St. Louis. A good team back in 2000.
Dean Kieckhaefer will have the 9th inning, not a save situation, so no Rosenthal. We've seen that in a lot of games this year. The Cardinals have added on and gotten past the 3-run threshold for it being a save situation. So Kieckhaefer in his major league debut, as we mentioned earlier, looked very sharp. Very, very sharp.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. It's to third. That's a fair ball. Long throw and a strong arm. Ruben Tejada takes over at third, and then the stretch there by Carpenter, who began the night at third base.
Regarding the line late in the game, still have to have something to throw it with, and good strong arm from Tejada.
So here is Charlie Blackmon and the top of the lineup, 13-7. Cardinals very comfortable with Kieckhaefer being used in long relief, lefty specialist, right-handers, doesn't matter. He's done a nice job. 0-1 pitch to Blackmon. Now it's 0-2.
Dropped down a little bit there, so a couple different arm angles. I think ultimately his bread and butter is going to be specializing in left-handers. But again, you don't want to just be typecast that way. To me, specialist, when somebody says specialist, they say you are one-dimensional. That's what I hear when I hear that word.
There's a breaking ball.
The way the game is now with using bullpens and shorter benches, more pitchers, using your roster more, you don't want to be one-dimensional. On the defensive side, as a pitcher,
1-2 pitch in the dirt.
I've said this before, Dan, but I think teams are going to have to start thinking about creating more experience for guys to be third catchers too. I think that limits your roster when your second catcher is a guy you never use.
That's a good point.
Because you're worried about using it.
Yeah.
And you don't want your emergency catcher to be, you want him to be a third catcher, not an emergency catcher.
And you want your backup to stay sharp. We turn to tonight's Budweiser player of the game. Matt Carpenter, 3 for 5. Couple of doubles, home run. He has driven in 6. The 6 RBIs. He's now up to 32.
Is it possible for a leadoff hitter to lead the league in RBIs? We're getting close.
Yeah. Cardinals trying to make it 2 wins in a row and 2 out of 3 to start this homestand. Line drive into right, and this should do it. Cardinals win it 13-7. In another offensive explosion for the Cardinals as they take 2 of 3.
This was more the kind of game we expected between these two clubs. 20 runs in this game. Cardinals with a 6-run 4th inning. That was the difference. Plenty of heroes on the offensive side. Tyler Lyons did a nice job of steadying things in the Cardinals bullpen. And another nice job by the bullpen overall.
A lot of highlights to show you on the postgame show. Scott Warman is standing by along with Jimmy Ballgame, Jim Edmonds. 13-7 the final tonight.